It's the Hollywoodbets Durban July, with 18 runners going to post over the 2,200-metre turf course. Public support has come for the Michael Roberts-trained See It Again. But the race is competitive and promises to be out of this world.
I do believe it's a very open July.
It's open.
I think the race is a bit open.
I do think Mace's horse is very good. See It Again.
The horse that we don't know about is See It Again because he's on the up.
People said, "You're nervous?" I said, "No, I'm not nervous. I'm excited about the July."
I must say it's very competitive.
Very competitive field, you know, the weights are very closely structured.
And there's no standout. Normally you'd have 4 or 5 top horses in the race and the rest would always just be behind them, but this year it's very open, it's competitive.
People are getting anxious and excited.
Everyone has some sort of a chance.
I wouldn't be surprised to see It Again, Do It Again, 2 3-part brothers fighting out the Hollywood Durban July.
It's going to come down to shrewd riding and serious tactics.
See It Again is the horse that previous South African and English champion jockey, now trainer, Michael Roberts has been waiting for. The smashing 3-year-old chestnut colt comes in having won a double of Grade 1s in the Splash Out Cape Derby and Daily News 2000.
He has the call. See it again, Dave the King.
Michael, what did you make of his official Hollywoodbets Durban July gallop?
I was very pleased with it. It wasn't a serious gallop because, my horse is fit and well, I believe. And, he's come on from his Daily News run. And so I just put him through his paces and he did extremely well. Rachel thought that, he even come on, from his last bit of workout here at Summerveld. And he came back home here, head in the manger, and today I gave him a day off in the paddock, and he was fresh as anything when we put him out, so, good sign.
How do you see him in this year's race?
Well, obviously, the weight, is a question mark. I would have loved to see him with around 55 in the race, but he's on the up. I believe he's the best 3-year-old in the country, over the distance, and he probably deserved his weight.
You've won this race before. What would it mean to you as a trainer to now win it in this capacity?
To win it as a jockey was very, very special in my, career. And obviously to train one would even be more special because, it's like our Epsom Derby or the Melbourne Cup in Australia. It's a difficult race. Jockeys are excited, they're hyped up. Luck is going to be the most important thing for me in a run.
See It Again keeps it in the family, being a 3-parts brother to the most successful horse in the history of the Hollywoodbets Durban July, Do It Again, who lines up once again this year. Winchester Mansion put his hand up this season, running just off Pacaya in the Grade 2 World Sports Betting 1900, before going on to win the Grade 3 Hollywoodbets Dolphins Cup trial to secure his place in this year's field.
Winchester Mansion unwinds to win.
Yeah, this horse he's absolutely flying at home. His last 2 starts were phenomenal, especially his first start coming back from gelding. Just been an incredible horse to work with, a privilege to be able to work with him, and he's a horse that's also on the up. With regards to his preparation, we couldn't actually have a better prep going into his race. He's handled both of his starts from Durban exceptionally well, and he's come on from each one, so we're very happy with him and how he's progressing at home, and he should be spot on for this race. 3rd run after gelding. Handles his races exceptionally well, and he's just been improving, and I'm sure with the last run and the manner and the authority that he won in, it's a race that would have given him a ton of confidence, and it was a race that he won with full of authority, so he's a horse that's only on the up and only improving. This is a very strong July field, and it's by no means just going to be given to us either. But from a good draw with a nice light galloping weight on his back, I think this is a very, very strong runner, and I think he's going to be exceptionally competitive on the day, and I wouldn't leave him out in any of your bets.
Early favourite for the Hollywoodbets Durban July, Safe Passage, has had a somewhat unconventional prep. After an indifferent start to the season, he returned to Gauteng to get another run under his belt. His subsequent run back in KZN again, when 5th in the Hollywoodbets Gold Challenge to the highest rated horse in South Africa, Charles Dickens, was more promising.
He's come through his run very, very well, sounder than I've ever seen him. He's in a very good space himself.
He's one of the few riders that have asked the horse to actually quicken.
What did you make of his gallop at Hollywoodbets Gravel?
He doesn't give away much at work.
Safe Passage, as we've heard, is not a good track horse, so don't read too much into what appeared on the surface to be a disappointing gallop. Back home he works with blinkers. He didn't have the blinkers on today.
You said before the Gold Challenge that come the Hollywoodbets Durban July, he could be a massive runner. Do you still hold by that?
Yes, I think so. Certainly at the weights, at the ratings, he's definitely a runner.
Safe Passage will be partnered by visiting international jockey and 10 times French champion Christophe Soulmion. Whilst See It Again won the Grade 1 Splash Out Cape Derby and Daily News 2000, without question finished third and just 2 lengths off him in both races.
The closer we're getting to the race, the more impressed I'm getting with him, which is a big thing. Sometimes you get closer to the moment and you start doubting a horse. It's going the opposite. Very impressed with that gallop.
Yeah.
The action, wow. This horse does everything the right way. He gets to the track, he's unconscious, he doesn't pull, and he's making it easy for himself. So very little, I think, is going to go wrong for him in this race. Whereas this is a race where a lot does go wrong. It's a tight track, but I do think with Richard on, there's a lot of positive going in this horse's way.
Well, look, I'm very happy that Trip of Fortune got supplemented and pushed him back to where he should be. Now I get my full £4 and I'm super stoked about that. So yeah, he's back in the game. The draws, it could get a bit bumpy, but he's a big boy. Yeah, best day, watch out for him. He's fitting well.
Pacaya won the Grade 2 World Sports Betting 1900 when giving Winchester Mansion 2 kgs.
Pacaya won at Winchester Mansion.
That form has since been franked, with Winchester Mansion winning the Grade 3 Hollywoodbets Dolphins Cup trial. Pacaya now meets Winchester Mansion on level terms, but is drawn fairly wide at 12. Could he be the dark horse in the race?
Oh, for sure. We've made a statement from the beginning that we always thought that he was the best handicapped horse in South Africa. Going into this race, I still think the same. I think he's the best handicapped horse. I think of a 110. There isn't a 110 in the country that'll match him. Draw 12, fine. Not concerned. Last year's winner was drawn 12. Nice omen. Doing really well. Maybe doing a bit too well. Obviously, to keep his weight down, we couldn't run him again. So because every time we were running him, the handicappers... Yeah. Notching up the weight. So we had to put him away, which always is a little bit of a risk because you are coming in fresh, not as overdone or as fit as some of the other horses, but that can also play into our favour, whereas a lot of these horses are travelling a lot. They at the end of their season, they've had a Joburg season into a Natal season. Here's a horse that is just fresh and ready to go. I've got to manage it though because he is peaking and I need to just tone him down a little bit. And if I get that right, the mixture right, he's a horse that's going to be a big runner. He just needs a luck in the running and he'll be right there.
Winner of the Grade 1 World Sports Betting SA Derby over 24.50 at Turpentine is Son of Raj.
And Son of Raj, full value for a huge win.
The way he won the Derby, he must have a massive chance because I got no weight and I'm very well drawn. He stays the trip. He's one of the best stayers. If the tempo is hot, it even suits him better. So bullish about my chances and just hoping for a massive run.
It's an unbelievable feeling. I can tell you I got goosebumps. Even this morning getting up to come for the gallops, it's unbelievable. I mean, this saddle cloth will obviously go in my bar, and then when I'm about 60 and 70, I'll be looking at the saddle cloth and reminiscing about this interview and this morning, and I can tell you I'll be having a few more shots after that.
Obviously, healthy respect to See It Again, the young 3-year-olds. What a question, who's getting the weight allowance from See It Again, and obviously horses like Safe Passage and Rascallion, those high-rated horses that also, the 3-year-olds all quite close to them. So it's I think the race is a bit open.
Dave the King crossed the line half a length behind See It Again in the Grade 2 World Sports Betting Guineas, a race won by Charles Dickens. The same distance separated the two once again when going 400 metres further in the Daily News 2000. Dave the King is now 1 kg better off at the weights, and with his powerful and effortless action, has to be a runner.
Yeah, I thought the Gallop was really good. He's a big horse and he's got a presence about him, but very happy on today's work. He's a horse who's just maturing after each run. He's starting to get a good head on him. He's starting to settle down and he's just going in the right direction. I'm really happy with his progression. Not a bad draw at all. He's a runner, especially now that the weights stay down a bit.
I think all the 3-year-olds are under pressure, if you ask me, at the weights. But there are 1 or 2 outstanding individuals, definitely, and I think the Cape 3-year-olds for me stand out. He's from Cape form. He is a big, strong, imposing horse with a lot of speed and a big galloper. So there's always a doubt over the trip with that type of horse, but time will tell.
Could he make the pace in the race the way he likes to run?
Possibly, yeah. I would have no problem having him in front.
Having been off the track for 6 months last year, former Wilgeborgsdrift Triple Tiara winner Rain in Holland is back and bang in form.
Rain in Holland now finds top stride. Another breathtaking win.
Yeah, she's taken her last run really well. I thought it was a win full of merit, quickened up really nicely in a slow run race. She's really going well through her paces at home, had a good gallop in between. Very happy with it.
Weight and draw?
It's been 56.5. It is a biggish weight for a filly and she's drawn 17, but 17, it can keep you out of the trouble as well. Yeah. And I think she's good enough. So although I'm a little bit reluctant with the weight, everything else is perfect and I'm hoping for a big run.
Simanga Khumalo has struck up a good relationship with Rain in Holland.
Yeah, 2 from 2, that's great. Let's try and go 3 from 3. That'll be fantastic. I mean, as a 2-year-old, I think she was unbeaten with Lyle. As a 3-year-old, unbeaten with Richard. Now we need the same with Simanga.
As the first black jockey to win the Hollywoodbets Durban July, Simanga Khumalo now bids to become the first black jockey to make it back-to-back wins and the first ever on 2 fillies. Having finished just 2 lengths off Jet Dart in the Grade 1 World Sports Betting Cape Town Met, Rascallion has followed a carefully planned prep coming into the Hollywoodbets Durban July.
Is it all on track for the big day?
Yeah, as much as we can control that sort of thing, but I was very happy with his workout. He did it comfortably and he did it in a pretty good time, and he's come through it well, so I'm very happy.
Draw 15?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's one of those things we've got to live with, and we're going to need a little bit of luck, I'm sure, but hopefully we can overcome that.
Do you think there's a natural front runner in the race?
Oh, definitely. There's Dave the King. He's a very strong horse. I trained him in his early part of his career, and I think over the 2-2 he will be a handful.
Do It Again lived up to his name by winning not just once but twice in 2018 and 19. He's since made the frame in his subsequent 3 runs in the race, and at 8 years of age goes for the seemingly impossible 6th attempt.
Can he make the frame again?
For sure, definitely. The closer we're getting to the race, the more I'm thinking he could be the right one. He's on his own, 1,600 metres, fastest 400 to finish. Is that a horse that's lost the zest for racing? He ran a 21.9 for the last 400, unextended, easing up a little bit closer to the line. Imagine if we extended him. Could have broken the course record probably. Unbelievable.
Michelle, it was just amazing to sit on his back. I think we got an instant connection when I slipped into the saddle, and he's just such a beautiful natured horse. He obviously knows what the July is all about, and he put up a tremendous gallop. He's feeling good in himself.
So much I could say about him. We're making this the last race for him because we feel it's the right time to do it. He doesn't. He thinks he could go another year. I'm telling you, if we wanted to, he could run this race again. He's the soundest horse in my yard. He's you'll see him come out just now and he'll buck all the way home. He loves it. I'm as confident with him going into this race as any of the races I have with him. Beautifully weighted and a 6th draw. 6th July, 6th draw. Number 6. Don't count this horse out of anything.
In preparation for the tight Hollywoodbets gravel track, high-felt horse of the season, Puerto Manzano, was set alight early when winning the Grade 3 Jubilee Stakes 3 weeks ago.
Puerto Manzano wins the Jubilee.
It's a tactic Keegan de Mello is hoping will pay off.
Look, yeah, obviously the gravel turn is a lot sharper, and once you get into the straight, you really don't have time to think. And within that in mind, I asked him a little bit earlier just to get his mind on it and just prepare him for a tighter track, and it seemed to work. And yeah, he's doing exceptionally well. He's in good form, and you can only hope he brings his form July Day.
Weight and draw?
Look, I think for a dual Group 1 winner, I think he's very well weighted and he's in the form of his life. And you know, a horse that's coming off Group 1 wins and Group winners, they got a lot of confidence. And the verdict is still out whether he enjoys gravel. Yeah. But he is a much better horse now, and he's found form, and he's a furnished horse now.
What do you make of the field?
Very competitive field. You know, the weights are very closely structured. The 3-year-olds, I thought, were not well in it with the weights, and you know, it's going to bring them a lot closer.
Pompan Power showed his sparkling 3-year-old form when running just over a length third to Jet Dark in the Grade 1 World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. He jumps from draw 18, but Comedy Dung showed it's possible when winning in 2021.
You know, last year everything went wrong. Everything that could possibly go wrong with this horse went wrong. But this year, even in the July gallops now, he was very well behaved. He never put a foot wrong. The only thing he was confused was, as I was riding with him and I was going to let him go into the gallop, he was confused that when I slowed down, he came back to me, which is such a good sign in a way. He actually he turned around to come back to me. And then I had to grab him again and say, no, go. Yeah. You can actually let loose, you know. And my work rider was phenomenal and rode him so beautifully. A lot of people saying comments, maybe he should be riding him in the Hollywood Durban July. 18 draw, beyond the outside, not concerned about the draw whatsoever.
Okay.
Best draw in the world for this horse. It's a draw where you're under no pressure whatsoever, and that's what this horse will enjoy. If he was drawn 1, I would have said you can can his chances now.
Yeah.
But complete hit and miss. There's a lot of horses in this race that have never been able to and never will be able to run at the level that he's run on certain moments. Yeah. They're just not that good. He is, but how's he going to play up in front of the crowd screaming and shouting? We're going to do everything we can, so fingers crossed.
Winner of the Grade 1 Wilgeborstdrift SA Fillies Classic at Turfentine in March is Bless My Stars. She gives up-and-coming jockey Atandiwe Magudwa his first ride in the race.
Obviously, she's a golden ticket winning the Fillies Classic, so a Group 1 winner, that's fantastic, 52 kilos. Obviously a big ask in this field. She's never taken on this company, but she's had a really good prep. She's in a good space. She's got a half-decent draw, and with that weight, who knows? I mean, I'm happy with her.
Stable companion to Winchester Mansion is Time Flies. She flew to run second to Rain in Holland and ahead of Silver Darling in the Grade 1 Wollavington 2000 5 weeks ago.
From Time Flies, Silver Darling.
Fillies and fine fettle coming from her last 2 starts. You know, she's a filly that's really on the up and doing very, very well at home. You know, she just keeps improving, and her confidence is building with each start. She hasn't run out of the money, and you know, she looks like a very promising sort. You know, she did get quite a big merit rating increase after her last start of I believe it was 21 pounds, which is quite high for any horse. But you know, she's a filly that she's proven that she's able to get in the mix-up and be in the shake-up with the big horses. And yeah, I think this is a filly that if things can go her way in the race, I definitely think she can be in the shake-up and possibly in the first 4.
Grade 1 placed in his last 3 starts, Billy Bowlegs now meets Grade 1 World Sports Betting Premier's Champions Challenge winner, Puerto Manzano, 1 kg better off at the weights for his 1-length beating.
We got Billy Bowlegs in the July this year, very excited. We haven't had a run in the race for a while, but I think we got more than just a runner, we got a horse with a chance. He's perhaps gone good. Sean Beals made the effort to come up 3 times to work him and get to know him better. And the gallops have gone well. We're happy with the way he's gone, and the prep has gone to plan. Like I say, he's had a bit of a gap between runs, but that was we planned it that way because he'd had a fairly hard season up to a point, and we couldn't keep him at peak for 7 months. So he's had a bit of a gap, and now he's peaking again and coming right at the right time. He's with 53.5, draw 5. We're quite excited, and it's the July. There's 1 July of the year, and we'll give it our best. There's the plan is to leave on Friday, the Friday before, with new turf carriers early in the morning. We get there Friday afternoon. All being well, he travels well, he'll run well.
Oh, I'm pumped. It's going to be the first year my 2 boys are coming to the track, so it's going to be a very good experience for them, and I'll be a proud dad to have them here.
Silver Darling, though, has a length to spare.
Winner of the Grade 1 Will Lavington 2000 last year and third to reign in Holland this year is one of 4 fillies in the field, Silver Darling.
Silver Darling!
I've always wanted to give her this opportunity in a race like this because she never ever gets it anywhere else in South Africa. There's no race for a Savano, beautifully bred, filly with stamina. You just don't get it where it's testing. This is the only place she's going to get it. Whether the fillies are good enough and they come in with a form with rain in Holland and time flies, I don't know. It's a close call. I say that because of the weight of the 3-year-olds coming in low, and a horse like Pacaya, 53, Winchester Mansion, 53. In my mind, they could be slung in. They are horses that were gelded and have come on a lot. So under their handicapping. And so I do think the fillies are going to find it hard against the older horses that they're giving weight to.
Trip of Fortune.
Multiple graded stakes winner in 3 provinces, Trip of Fortune was supplemented at the 11th hour. He's yet to go further than the mile and may have punters scratching their heads, but it's been achieved before when In Full Flight won the race in 1972.
He's been the most consistent horse this season. He's really been, stepped up to the plate every time he's been asked. It was a good run from him last time out in the Gold Challenge, having to race a little bit handier than what he would normally like to do. Obviously a question mark over the distance. He hasn't been this trip before, and he has top weight. So 2 factors that, one factor that's unknown, the trip. He's obviously not drawn well, we're drawn 16, but he will be dropping in anyway, in order to try and see out the trip. But I think if he can get away with it, it will be at this track. And he's really doing well, so we are hopeful that we can possibly be running onto the money if he sees out the trip, but that is a question mark.
Second base gives young trainer Robin Claassen her first runner in the Hollywoodbets Durban July. He made an eye-catching debut for his new stable and owners in the Grade 1 World Sports Betting Premier's Champions Challenge when going down by the narrowest of margins to Puerto Manzano.
We're really excited. I believe that the horse will give a good account of himself on the day. And I just encourage the public to judge him on his most recent run. He obviously took well to his change of stable and change of environment, and I believe that he's a different horse to what he was before. So we've got the draw of 13, which is not a problem to me. In fact, I'm happier about it. The horse has a tendency to, or in the past he has missed the break a few times, and if we were drawn on the inside, we might be in a bit of trouble if that were to happen. Although I do believe that removing the earmuffs will help.
I think, is it one of the strongest Hollywood Durban Julys? I would probably say no. And the weights have showed that. Yeah. I'm not saying anything out of turn.
I don't think it's the toughest July that I've ever encountered.
There's always 2 camps. There's the 3-year-olds with the older horses. I'm in the older horses camp this year. I think there's 2 or 3 older horses at the bottom of the weights, much like Sparkling Water, that are going to be tough to beat.
He always wins with a little bit in hand, see it again, which obviously is a big concern to all us other trainers in this race.
He's on the up, and he looks like he could set the standard, even though he's now giving a bit of weight to the other 3-year-olds.
If he has the luck in running from a 7 draw, he's certainly the horse that we're going to need to chase home.
Open race, but we're not there without a chance.